In the mystical world of Regarden, the most prestigious place for young wizards is the Regarden Magical Academy. Here, the value of a person is measured by their magical talent, and those without it are often looked down upon. This sets the stage for the story of Will Surfort, a determined young man without any magical abilities who dreams of proving himself in a world where magic reigns supreme. The scene transitions to a classroom where Professor Edward is teaching a lesson on magical catalysts. When he calls on Will to demonstrate a basic spell, it becomes evident that Will struggles with even the simplest magic, much to the amusement and disdain of his peers. Despite his lack of magical ability, Will refuses to give up on his dreams. He believes that hard work and perseverance can compensate for his deficiencies in magic. His best friend, Colette Loire, supports him unwaveringly, standing up for him against bullies like Cyan Ulster, who mock Will for his ineptitude. The narrative takes a poignant turn as Will reflects on a childhood promise he made with his friend Elfaria. They had vowed to see the real sky together, a dream that seemed impossible for someone without magic. Elfaria, blessed with extraordinary magical talent, became the youngest Magia Vonder in history and achieved their dream, leaving Will behind. Despite the harsh treatment from Professor Edward and the mockery of his classmates, Will's spirit remains unbroken. He continues to venture into the dungeon, fighting monsters to earn credits needed for his advancement in the academy. His determination is fueled by the promise he made to Elfaria and his unyielding belief that he can succeed despite his limitations. One day, Professor Werkner, a more understanding mentor, warns Will about the dangers of his solo dungeon expeditions. Will, however, sees no other way to earn the necessary credits. He is informed about a formidable monster, Baskerville, which could provide the credits he desperately needs if defeated. Will decides to face Baskerville, despite the risks. Accompanied by his loyal companion Kiki, who has a keen sense of smell, he ventures into the dungeon once more. However, his path is not smooth. Cyan and his cronies, intent on ensuring Will's failure, plan to take down the monster before Will can reach it. As Will navigates the dungeon's treacherous 7th floor, he recalls the legendary story of the 5 Magia Vanders who saved their world from darkness and brought peace. These great wizards inspire Will to push beyond his limits. In the climax of the anime, Will faces off against Baskerville. With Kiki's help, he dodges the monster's fire breath and manages to exploit its weaknesses. Despite the odds, Will's resourcefulness and sheer willpower enable him to defeat the beast. His triumph earns him the much-needed credits, proving that even without magic, he has the heart and determination of a true hero. The anime ends with Will reflecting on his journey. Though he has a long way to go, his victory against Baskerville marks the beginning of his path to becoming a Magia Vander. Episode 2 begins with a flashback to 5 years ago. We hear whispers of an extraordinary boy named Will Surfort, who, unlike his peers, cannot use magic. This anomaly makes his acceptance into the prestigious Regarden Magical Academy even more bewildering. Rumors suggest that his presence was a mere ploy to attract the influential Lady Elfaria to the academy, a goal now achieved, rendering Will seemingly obsolete. The scene shifts to the imposing office of the headmaster of Regarden Magical Academy, Kaldrin Janub. Professor Werkner Norgram advocates for Will's enrollment despite his lack of magical abilities. The headmaster's curiosity is piqued by the notion of a sword yearning for the wand, an allusion to Will's warrior spirit striving to master magic. The headmaster consents, intrigued by the potential spectacle of Will's journey. Fast forward to the present, Will, now in his 6th year, is on a relentless quest to climb the tower and reach the prestigious Upper Institute. The path to this pinnacle is fraught with challenges, primarily requiring students to invent a new type of magic or earn an impressive 7,200 credits. Will's lack of magical prowess makes this an almost insurmountable task, yet he remains undeterred. Colette's admiration for Werkner contrasts with the strict and unyielding Professor Edward Serfants, who harbors a disdain for non-magical students like Will. Amidst this backdrop of academic rigor, rumors swirl about the extraordinary feats of Cyan Ulster, a top student who recently vanquished an evil sentinel, a 10-credit monster, single-handedly. However, Cyan modestly denies his heroics, hinting at a deeper, untold story. Will's academic journey is marred by challenges and skepticism from peers and faculty alike. Despite being a top scorer in writing and offering brilliant insights in his reports, his inability to perform magic makes his ambition to become a Magia Vander, a revered master of magic, seem like a distant dream. Professor Edward, particularly, views Will's aspirations as an affront to the magical order. The tension reaches its peak when Headmistress Cauldron, in a bid to settle the controversy, grants Edward the authority to test Will. The test is simple, yet brutal. Will must land a single attack on Edward, a task that, if failed, will result in his expulsion. Will's determination is palpable as he steps into the spell hall, facing a formidable opponent with nothing but his indomitable will. Meanwhile, Professor Werkner learns about the impending test from Headmistress Cauldron. Despite his objections, he is bound by the fairness of allowing Edward his chance to evaluate Will. The test begins, and the air crackles with anticipation as Will prepares to face Edward, the man who almost became a Magia Vander himself. After a few tense moments of Will being attacked by a disgraced Magia Vander, his friend, who's always been more than a little interested in him, rushes over and throws him his sword. With renewed strength, Will finally defeats Edward, leaving a neat scar on his once handsome face. Edward, humiliated, demands to know Will's noble cause for wanting to become a Magia Vander so desperately. Will looks him in the eye and says straight up that he just misses his beloved Elfaria, who is waiting for him at the top of the tower. The episode ends with Will drifting to sleep on his friend's comforting lap. Episode 3 opens in the magical city of Urbis Regarden, where Will Surfort is seen parting ways with his beloved Elfaria, a brilliant mage famous for her 12 original spells. They've promised to meet again at the tower, a symbol of their shared dreams, even though they have to be apart for now. Will is different from most of the Academy's students. He doesn't have natural magical talent, but he makes up for it with sheer determination and a strong will. He's working as a delivery person to support himself while he studies, and he's constantly inspired by news of Elfaria's accomplishments. His journey takes him to the outskirts of the Academy, where his friend, Rosti Noman, an artificer, gives him magical items that might be key to his mission. Elfaria has issued a new quest: collect Frostwalker ice cores. This task not only promises a great reward, but also offers a chance to contribute to something meaningful. In Dungeon Floor 4, Will runs into Iris Churchill, a fourth-year student who looks up to Elfaria with awe. Iris tells Will an intense story about how Elfaria once saved her from a dangerous situation. This story fuels Will's resolve to meet the expectations set before him. Deep in the dungeon's icy depths, Will uses his knowledge of the magical environment to his advantage. While others are drawn to the surface and the thrill of battle, he digs deeper, using what he knows about the Frost Rex, a powerful beast in the dungeon's heart. Following the monster's tracks, they locate the Frost Rex. Iris tells Will that the Rex will wreck him by using his freeze abilities. Will tells her not to worry, then he pulls out a rope attached with dynamite sticks. He uses this weapon to tie up the Frost Myth and cause it to explode like a bag of fleas. Even though Will lacks magical abilities, his experience and smart strategies help him defeat the Frost Rex. Back at the Wizard's Tower, the powerful Magia Vander discuss who might be right for a crucial role. Despite not having strong magical skills, Will stands out because of his bravery and resourcefulness. His actions have caught the eye of these influential figures. Unfortunately, this brings us to the end of Episode 3. Comment if you want Part 4, and subscribe if you just want to be loved.